morning. Good morning, good morning, good morning. It's a new year. How are you? Hearts and thumbs up. As we gather together this morning, maybe you just announce yourself, and we want to, like every other time, invite you to share, because what we're doing is we're creating a prayer field together where we magnify the intentions of our heart as one collective heart. And so whatever's going on in your heart this morning, we invite you to lay it here in the center of this circle that we're creating, knowing that as we collectively come together, our intentions, our prayers are heard. Good morning, Darlene. Good morning, Darlene. Thank you for always being here with us. We actually had the joy of singing last night at the Global Truth Center. Jason actually offered the meditation, and together we did the chant Kritaj Naham, which maybe we'll do later, but it was a really great way to start the new year together. Kritaj Naham is I am gratitude, not I have gratitude, but I am gratitude. And we know that for us, a shift in a moment is a grateful heart, changes the perspective of everything. And Kritaj Naham, that's Kritaj Naham. Anandaham is I am bliss. And right before we went up yesterday, I looked up the meaning of bliss to remind myself, what is this that we're calling in? I am this quality of bliss. And bliss is the absence of resistance. It's that space where we reside, where we are in allowance, knowing that all is unfolding perfectly, and that we have the trust and the confidence that whatever we are facing, everything that we need is right in front of us to walk through it with grace and ease and trust.
There's a hush.
Yes, it is.
There's a hush. Thank you for being with us right now. Knowing that your now is your now. And our now is our now, and it might be a different now. But in time and space, it's only now. Good morning, Dr. Deb. Let's give it Dr. Deb good morning.
Ow, ow, ow!
We love you.
I miss you.
This winter time has been a time of respite, a time of going into the cave. You know, to the cave, I'm reminded of Dagobah, where Luke goes to see Yoda. And his training commences. And part of his training to really access the Force is to face himself. On a lone journey. And he faces what looks like Vader, that projected evil. And the mask comes off and he sees it's himself. The cave of shadows.
The cave, I was going to say, it's perfect that you're here with us, Deb. You do powerful work in the shadow area, and I know that we're reminded of your presence often as we've been really diving deeper into our shadows and how they dance with each other. And, you know, in the energy that we've just been graced with the new moon, and then this new year, as we're going up the spiral and we're seeing all these cycles of ourself resurface, things that were like, wow, I thought I dealt with that. And it comes up on a deeper level because there's deeper healing to be had. The gifts of our life are in our shadows when we look at them. When we sit with them and make peace with them and love them and know that they are divine parts of us that provide insight to who we are. Without looking at them, there's a quote that says, an unguarded strength is a double weakness. And our shadows have the gold when we really truly look at them, and then we can face them in each other and have the grace and compassion. This is how we mobilize change in the world. Because it seems like so many of us get caught in relationships. I know that we both have been, and we both do at times. We get caught in the shadow dance over and over and over and over again. But we all have the same shadows. Different experiences, but the same shadows.
Yeah.
There's grace to face them.
Happy New Year. Happy New You. Happy New Us. Happy New Earth.
Yes.
Happy New Rebirth. We are in auspicious days. Precious days of creation, of integration, recalibration.
We were talking about this morning, what are we going to talk about today? We did a broadcast the other night for New Year's, but what came up on my heart, just the things that are coming up in our now, is in this energy of a new year, grounding all of these dreams that we're carrying in our heart to bring them into reality and start mobilizing them into the world that needs these lessons of hibernation that we've learned, these things that we've revealed and uncovered and are in the process of reclaiming within ourselves the sovereignty that we walk in. But it's time to ground these things and to create the containers by which we can actually go out and serve with. And I think for us highly creative beings, those of us who are walking this esoteric path together, sometimes that's a little bit more of a challenge than being in that space of contemplation and meditation. But we're going to ground that side of ourselves this year, create our containers so that we can be of service, of sacred service to the world.
How do we bring spirit into matter? Well, you are God. You know how to do that. I am God. I know how to do that.
You do.
You are goddess. Well, we had a wonderful, as Heather mentioned, it was a great opportunity yesterday at the beginning of the year. It was our honor to offer our time and talent and treasure to the Global Truth Center to really drop into the meditation space, and I was asked to guide us into a meditation. And there was a quote that came in that I want to share with you, that you may be experiencing maybe some sort of lack. You know, this is a dis-ease in our mind. Slack. You know, and it shows up in its various ways, you know. Obviously financially, maybe you're experiencing where the month is here and you didn't have enough to pay for all that is required right now. Or maybe you're feeling lack in that love life. You know, you don't have that person that you're exchanging in partnership with. You know, and on and on and on. Or maybe you're just experiencing lack within your own self. I'm not enough. You know, you find yourself in comparison to others. And every time when I speak, I don't speak from a place of I got this handled. We don't speak from a place of we got this handled. We speak from our experience, you know, and I know from my own self, the dis-ease of lack, you know, it's rampant, and it's a tyrant in the head. It's a tyrant in the heart. And we deserve, our birthright is abundant living, to live in prosperity, because the nature of the divine is prosperous. It is abundant. All we have to do is look to the sands of the beach, to the skies, look on the freeways of the 405 if you're out here in LA, see all the cars. There's a lot of people. There's no shortage of God's creation. There's no shortage, we're just a little solar system here around our sun, but what we know is you step far back and you step far back, and there are infinite planets. I've heard there's 456 livable planets.
Oh, wow, really?
I heard. I haven't been there yet.
Does anybody know that for sure?
But there's no shortage. But if we're experiencing any sense of shortage right now, I want to read you a quote from a book that I love right now by Marianne Williamson. It's called Everyday Grace, Having Hope, Finding Forgiveness, and Making Miracles. And she writes, as long as we remain vigilant at building our internal abundance, an abundance of integrity, an abundance of forgiveness, an abundance of service, an abundance of love, then that external lack is bound to be temporary. Let me read that again. As long as we remain vigilant to build our internal abundance, an abundance of integrity, an abundance of forgiveness, forgive it all, an abundance of service, look for ways, how can I give of my time, talent, and treasure? Where can I give? An abundance of love. Then that external lack that you may be experiencing is just temporary. As we sow, so shall we reap. And so it is my commitment, it is our commitment to sow into this eternal, internal abundance. And so thank you for joining us for this moment, because this is a moment where you're sowing into your internal abundance with one love and gratitude. This is, our intention is to create a coherent field of love, of gratitude, of oneness, of inspiration, of activation.
Can we talk a little bit about forgiveness? Forgiveness. James came up with a mission statement for the Global Truth Center that we repeat in our home often. And it's very simple, but can be a challenge to really put it into practice all the time. And it's love only, forgive everything, and remember who you are. And I know that one of the things that's coming up for us is to examine what deeper places in our own being we need to forgive. And first and foremost, where do we need to forgive ourselves? Because when we have forgiven ourselves, we're able to forgive, because compassion invades our awareness and becomes the lens through which we see others by. But we were having this conversation the other day about what is forgiveness? What does forgiveness feel like? And forgiveness is when you feel released. When you feel released from that thing that's been plaguing you, whether it's a relationship that you feel wronged you, or something within yourself that you did in the past that you just can't get over, and it keeps replaying in your mind over and over and over again, and it's now clouded your vision to see yourself and to see others, and it now determines how your relationships go. But when we forgive, we are the ones released. And we're able to let people off the hook to show up however it is they're going to show up, because everybody's doing their best. And when we forgive and we love it all, we remember more of who we are and how we are here to show up in the world. And every single one of us has such an important piece of this puzzle. there is not one more significant than the other. Every one of us has such an important role. And sometimes that lack of forgiveness makes us forget, gives us that temporary amnesia of, what am I doing? What am I doing here? Who are you?
I'm you.
You are me.
I am you.
You are me.
We are you. What a journey we get to be on, right?
Yeah.
You know, the deeper layers. I'm really in this like total surrendered space. We talk about getting the bloated nothingness out of the way.
What does that mean exactly? How would you put it into simple terms?
Well, one, I believe it involves surrender. Surrender to the present moment. There's nothing to think about, nothing to accomplish in your egoic agenda. You know, because here it is, we're here live with you, and we may have an agenda, but in truth we don't. We're just like, I'm in this space of like, just surrender to the moment and allow spirit, that higher self, that mighty I am presence, inhabit the space, and just listen. You know, sometimes the title can get in the way of what actually wants to be said.
Yeah, wasn't that part of something that, what did it say?
Don't let your talk title keep you from saying what spirit wants to say.
Yes.
It's just, you know, when you sing, you know, you get out of the way. Get yourself, your small self out of the way, what others might think about you, what, you know, you want to be clever. You know, I've heard it said, I mean, there's so many quotes that come through my head. Sell your cleverness and purchase bewilderment. You know, don't try to be clever and crafty. You know, just
smooth.
Just purchase awe. And we're in awe right now. So people are saying hello, and Darlene, good morning.
Camille, Trista's
Ava's here with us.
Ava.
I think Aaron might still be with us.
Thank you guys for being here in this circle.
But we're talking about deciding to decide. You know, it's the new year. Time-wise, you know, we structure our calendar days in a certain amount of time, and these are our benchmarks to look at. And but I remember it was said yesterday by James Mellon. He goes, okay, so, you know, some of us may set resolutions. You know, I don't know if any of you out there are setting resolutions. Or maybe you call, well, I don't do resolutions, I do intentions, my New Year intentions.
That's the new thought version of resolution.
And those are great. You know, it's really good to visualize where you want to go from here. It's a good benchmark, and go, okay, goodbye to this chunk of time called 2016. It's called a 9. It's a 9 of completion, you know. There's some energy around that. But here we are, we're in 2017, according to the Gregorian calendar. You know, the Jewish calendar is a whole nother time. I think it's 50-something, 5,000. I don't know what it is exactly, but, you know, they measure their time different. So whose time is right?
Well, it's always now, it doesn't matter.
Right.
We're gonna,
But it's a 1 year right now, according to the Gregorian calendar. And so, what's the difference between December 30th and January 2nd? That's going to be different for you. You know, you have your intention. And what was spoken about so beautifully by James was that it's the power of decision. It's just deciding. And Heather and I are in this sacred womb of recreation. We are deciding to build our dream. You know, I'll speak really honestly here. I have had a lifetime of spending my life energy of building many others' dreams, and I enjoy it. I enjoy it. But I know that our dream, what is it? You know, it was a quote, if you don't build your dream, somebody's going to hire you to build theirs.
Yeah, it's so true.
And it's important for us to have our vision, and it's not a selfish thing.
No.
It's more of just, it's an honoring to you and to the collective family for one love and gratitude to build their container. And we're excited. We've got a great year ahead. We're going to be on a great talk show coming up with Carrie Murphy. We've been asked to be one of her key speakers on, what's the show called? It's called
Straight Talk for the Soul.
Straight Talk for the Soul. And various luminaries coming together to have the conscious conversation.
It's interesting, we were having a conversation about how we're all wanting to collaborate, because it's time to collaborate. There's no question about that. And I think sometimes in our eagerness to collaborate and to build together, it's easy to lose sight of what our own mission is. And getting the gas mask on ourselves, getting these containers for us so that we are in a stable place, helps us make such better decisions about how we collaborate, where we collaborate, because now we know this is how I fit. And so our collaborations, when we know and we're clear on who we are and how we are to show up, we can contribute out of the overflow of our heart rather than trying to figure out who we are and where we fit. And it's a subtle but really distinct difference, because one is sustainable and one is not sustainable. One will burn us out. One will bring confusion because we're losing that center of our own being. And this year is all about sovereignty. Coming back, it's about one. This year is a one. Coming back to one. And if we don't come back to the one, the I am presence, the one that we are, we can't even see how we're connected to the bigger one. We don't know what our piece is. And so that's what I think we would like to encourage ourselves, because we're only speaking to us. Find out what that thing is that you do, how you show up, what Spirit has given you to do. With all of your many gifts and talents, get very clear on that. And then start putting it into practice, whatever you need to do to ground this thing. Because like we said earlier, the world needs us. And we can sit and sometimes we get lost in the navel gazing. We get lost in the contemplation and the conversations about how it all works and the rabbit holes that we could go down. But now we get the adventure.
I like to dig.
It's fun. It's fun. It's fun to talk
Rabbit
about
holes
past
are
lives.
fun.
It's fun.
Oh, but you get lost sometimes.
Right, we get lost and it's a
trickles.
distraction. And then we don't, I'll be honest, one of the things for me is I have lived my whole life in a spiritual environment where my family business was spiritual things. We were always, the employment was church. And so as this journey of awakening has unfolded, it's been hard for me to see sometimes, how do I fit out in the real world? How do my gifts translate? And so this morning as I was cooking eggs, interestingly.
Thank you for cooking eggs.
You're welcome. Eggs and kale even. They had kale.
Kale and cherry tomatoes. So good.
Oh. We are needed in the real world. And there's a whole world of people who are now waking up, whether they recognize it or not, that are looking or going to be looking for those of us who have solutions that come from something higher, wider, deeper than psychology. There are relationships that are in need of encouragement, and we've got the answers for them, not because we have something rote, but because we've gotten into the habit of living by the Spirit so that we can give from that place.
We've been tried and true.
You have been tried and found true. You have been tested, you have been purified, you have been clearing, and you are a gift to the world. So whatever that container is that will hold the place for you to be able to give, it's time to build it.
So I've got a couple quotes I'd love to read about deciding to decide. Raymond Charles Barker wrote a great book called The Power of Decision. Definitely have that on your bookshelf if you like to read. If you don't like to read, some of you don't. I don't read. I just pick up the book and I put my hand on it and I got it. And maybe that's true. But for those of you that enjoy reading,
You still read.
I do. I enjoy reading. Raymond Charles Barker has a couple quotes. Especially, this is a really good one for the year. The decision to let go of that which has completed its course in your experience is even more important than the decision to welcome new ideas. You cannot walk forward by looking backward. New wine cannot be put into old bottles, for the Bible states that the old bottles will break. You intuitively know what should depart from your life. And I think this is a really juicy one because, you know, we're all holding on to things, old ways, old ideas, old relationships, old jobs, old things that don't serve you. You know, you've got your vision of your good life. You've got your vision of your prosperous life. You've got your vision of that love life. But what in your life right now is keeping you from that? You know, only you know for you if you just sit with that. But the power to decide, and I say this all the time, to let go of the density. What dense habits? You know? I mean, this is my decision, is to let go, you know, to let go of procrastination, you know, to let go of that nagging feeling of not being enough.
It was fun when we had a brother here last night, Mark. We were talking about these, and we all have them, these little thoughts that come in and keep arguing with our higher self that we are not enough. And call them what you may, archons, lower spirit animal, whatever.
Freddie P. Soft.
Freddie P. Soft with the
Have you guys heard of Freddie P. Soft? Freddie P. Soft is Jim Harbaugh, his coach. And thank you so much, Mark Howard, for bringing this. But Freddie, see, he's this 4-inch tall guy. He sits and he's got a plume hat. And he sits there and whispers how you need a, you know, it's another version of the Bugs Bunny devil. Is what I see.
Yeah, you're not enough. And it was funny because we were just talking about how do you get rid of them? And he just looked at us both like, really, seriously? And he just you just tell him to leave.
I'm God, I'm sovereign, I'm free. Get the F out of here.
The only thing that is allowed to have residence or dominion in any of us at any time is that which we give permission to stay. And I know that it seems sometimes like, you know, these energies are tough, oh, there's interference and all of these things, but we are sovereign, we are in charge of what has dominion in our mind and our life. And until we just know that with confidence, it's really hard to move forward because you're always still at this, you're at the whim of whatever else is coming along. You're always going to be at the whim of everybody else's moods and reactions. And it's a small flip to switch, but it's probably the biggest one. And babe, you always say it, the biggest decision we make in our life is whether we live in a friendly universe or a hostile universe. It's a great Einstein quote. And it's a wonderful thought, and sometimes it's hard to remember. It's just a decision. The power of decision is choosing. What do you want your life to look like? Choose it and do it.
Raymond also writes, the principle of life is that life corresponds by corresponding. Yeah. Your life becomes the thing that you have decided it shall be. You know, there is no victims here. If we're experiencing what we're experiencing, it's because somewhere, either consciously or in the subconscious, and here's just a scientific truth, your subconscious world is about 60,000 more powerful than your conscious mind.
60,000 more thoughts?
There's just, I forget the number. Camille Michaels, our dear sister, she will let us know. But there is... So
the repeating thoughts.
The sub of our, you know, it's deciding for us. It's creating. If you want to know what your subconscious believes, just look at your life. You know? Because you go, wow, I'm doing all the thing, I'm thinking the thoughts, but it is practice, 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 repeat, be vigilant. Remember the beginning quote, be vigilant. If you are vigilant to Build your internal abundance, your internal truth. I am the divine in form. I am not less than that. I am that I am. I am the divine. I am God. I am infinite. You are that. You've been told, we've been told lies that we're less than that.
Yeah.
And when we remember who we are, we decide, I am the divine in form. There is nothing. I call on my Ganesh. Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha. I blast through the obstacles. I open the doors to new creation. I magnetize to me everything that is required for my highest and best. We decide that that's the truth. It is done according to your faith, and so it shall be. It might seem like magic. And it might seem like magic, and it is magic. But it's normal. It is our divine inheritance. It is our divine power when we decide it is. So life will correspond by corresponding to your beliefs. Also, indecision, Raymond Charles Barker writes, is actually the individual's decision to fail. When you just don't decide. You know, you ever go to that menu at Jerry's Deli? Or
because it's too big.
Cheesecake Factory, you go to the thing going, oh my God, I can't decide. I can't decide. But those are really cool ads. I want that car. Why are there ads at Cheesecake Factory? I don't get it.
Because they couldn't afford to make their own menu?
Yeah, they're sponsored by a race car. But not deciding is deciding to fail. You know, and this is not, you know, this is somewhat of a, you know, our intention is to inspire. But this is our journey. You know, we are inspired to create our reality and not wait for our reality to be created by some outside force outside of us. But accessing our divine power, our divine masculine. Heather's doing an amazing job. I really honor you here in this space.
Thank you.
You know, that you, in all the flow that she is.
I'm a little bit of a lot of flow.
You are a lot of flow, but you are accessing powerful grids and creation and structure right now.
Thank you.
You know, and I'm still working it out.
You know, actually, as you were speaking this last quote, that's exactly the picture that was coming in. We're learning, we've done a lot of receptivity. We've been in this place of spirit, a lot of us, where we've been receiving knowledge. We've been in the caves of our heart, clearing and trying to understand ourself, which is, it's essential, it's crucial. And that's the feminine, right? And now we're bringing in this masculine energy to take all of that we've received and now take it and point it and allow it to go out into the world. When we were in the jungle, Mikas, the man, this beautiful Greek man who facilitated our conversations of integration each day, he kept coming back to this point of do what is going to make you proud of yourself. Take the steps that are necessary. We can decide something and we can make intentions all day long, but James had a great analogy last night. He said, you know, you've decided to go see a movie. There are several steps involved in actually seeing that movie. You have to go buy the tickets and you have to drive yourself to the movie and you have to buy your popcorn and you have to actually sit there and watch it. And you haven't watched it until you've completed all those steps. And so what was so on my heart this morning is to encourage each other to take all of these visions and dreams that we have and make ourselves, the beloved I am presence, the mother, father, God within us, our divine parents, proud of what we've said yes to in trust, knowing that we are enough to accomplish that which we've been gifted to accomplish here in this world.
And what I know from my own experience is that when you take a step towards that, the universe rushes in. It conspires.
Yes.
It conspires. It conspires. You know, we've experienced, you know, when we decide, yes, we are creating one love and gratitude.
Yeah.
A prayer partner that I just have, out of the graciousness of my heart, comes to me and says, I want to help you build that. Mm-hmm. Just my seva to you. You know, a dear brother goes, I want to envision with you too. A dear brother goes, I want to, you know, he's John Livesey. Check out John Livesey, Live Say, is his last name. He's known as the pitch whisperer. He knows how to take you from invisible to investable. And
with angel investors.
With angel investors, and how to take your story, you know. And these are the beings that are conspiring around us to co-create with us. And it is from that decision. So you might go on, I don't know. And if you don't know what your vision is for 2017, you don't know, you feel this burning desire in your heart to go, I want to be a beneficial presence on the planet. I want to help. I want to have a voice. I have something inside that wants to give out. Well, if you're not sure how to do it, then just get into prayer and pray for clarity. Call us. Let's do a session. You know what I mean? We're here. You know, we're here to support you so that you may support many. And that's how this thing works. But decide. That's the only difference it's going to be from December 30th to January 2nd. He's going, you know what? I decided. I am a success. I am God. I deserve opulence. It's a decision. And it's something we have to decide every day, because there is this little Freddie P. Soft sitting there wanting to tell you something different. You know, and these are things we have to work through. So do your inner work. Be vigilant at building your internal abundance, your forgiveness, your love, your service, your integrity. You know, your integrity is priceless.
I would add to that as well, those qualities to include, how can I give without any expectation of anything in return? Because a really big piece of this for all of us is giving away our heart. Doesn't mean to not be compensated, because I believe with everything I am, I know that we do, that there is an exchange. There's a flow of the universe that's give and receive, and so it's meant for us to be able to sustain ourselves. But it's so crucial for all of us to find places that we can give that require us to really, that doesn't just feel ushy, like gushy, ushy gushy, but that requires us to really give of our heart. There's an expansion in that. Sometimes it's giving to the ones that are the hardest to give to, where we see something crack open. And there's something that flows in that's really powerful. We've been really blessed to work with Laura LaFoya Avatesamali with the One Global Family Foundation, which many of you know. And she models this so beautifully. She works with the neediest of the needy, and without any expectation, but knowing that her gift to the world is something that gives back to her in ways that are immeasurable.
Yeah, and stay tuned. That's the One Global Family Foundation. And as you know, we've been doing the One Global Family Calls to Sacred Activism. And we've been in a recreation mode with that. And we are geared up every Thursday from 11 a.m. to 12 p.m. We'll be joining Laura and many other interfaith leaders, Indigenous elders, and activists and advocates to have that sacred conversation. And it's a Zoom broadcast, and so we're bringing amazing artists from all over the world. It really has opened us up to a world conversation, that we are one global family. And so I remember, and we are co-creating with our dear sister Michelle Anderson of A Circle of Radiant Love, and she said, we are one global family as a circle of radiant love in one love and gratitude. This one giant sentence. I love that. And so stay tuned for that. But this is going to be an amazing journey this year. There's some, we're moving through some uncertain times here in the States. We don't know what's going on. But we can feel an emergent. We can feel something calling us higher, calling us out of the old wineskins, and to really, truly co-create heaven on earth. And as we step into our God sovereign self, we are restoring Eden.
So I feel like I'm feeling like we're drawing to a completion here.
I believe so.
A couple things just to let you guys know that we now are a nonprofit organization, and so we are able to receive donations. We received an amazing donation that actually got the ball rolling for us to create this, and we're in deep gratitude for that gift and the vision that this sister had that catapulted us to take some steps of decision. But we are open to receiving those donations. Again, we are partnered with the One Global Family Foundation, the Love Foundation, the
New Century Foundation.
New Century Foundation. Yeah, it's really good. It's really good. Get clear on who you are, how you want to show up, what your container looks like, and start taking those steps of decision to make it happen and become a reality for you.
And who do you want on your journey? You know, who do you want to be partnering with? Who do you want to co-create heaven on earth in your world with? You know, be clear and let go. Just let go. Remember, just decide that, you know what? This is no longer appropriate for my life. It's just not, and it's okay.
It's kind of like weeding out the closet. Sometimes you got to make room in the closet in order to have new clothes come into your to your experience, right?
Reasons and seasons.
And then on our Facebook page, you're here because you're watching us live, but there's a sign up button that you can push. It'll take you to our new website, oneloveandgratitude.com, which is O-N-E, not one O-V-E, one love spelled out, oneloveandgratitude.com. Join our mailing list, and you'll see our schedule there. We've got a lot of wonderful things coming up. Hearts. Who is that?
Here in LA, actually, we're doing a, wow.
Love
It's a firework of love.
Thank you.
Dudley Poole.
Dudley.
We're going to be calling you soon.
Yes, expect a call today.
Who is that? Is that Ava? That's Ava. That's super Ava.
Ava. Love you. Love
Rockets of Desire. So there's a song?
Yeah, let's do Kritaj Naham, yeah?
Kritaj Naham.
This is I Am Gratitude and I Am Bliss. Kritaj Naham, Kritaj Naham,
Ananda hum, Kritaj Naham. Come on. Kritaj Naham, Kritaj Naham, Ananda hum, Kritaj Naham,
Kritaj Naham, Kritaj Naham, Ananda hum,
Kritaj Naham,
Kritaj Naham,
Kritaj Naham,
Kritaj Naham,
Kritaj Naham,
Ananda hum,
Kritaj Naham. I am blessed, I am sustained in the everlasting way. I am blessed, I am sustained in the everlasting way.
Kritaj Naham,
Kritaj Naham,
Kritaj Naham,
Kritaj Naham,
Ananda hum,
Ananda hum, Kritaj Naham.
Kritaj Naham, Kritaj Naham, Ananda hum, Kritaj Naham.
I am blessed, I am sustained in the everlasting way. I am blessed, I am sustained in the everlasting way.
I am blessed.
I am blessed, I am sustained in the everlasting way. I am blessed, I am sustained in the everlasting way. Kritaj Naham, Kritaj Naham,
Ananda hum,
Kritaj Naham, Kritaj Naham, Kritaj Naham, Kritaj Naham, Kritaj Naham,
Ananda hum,
Ananda hum,
Kritaj Naham.
Kritaj Naham, Kritaj Naham, Ananda hum, Kritaj Naham,
Oh,
Kritaj Naham, Kritaj Naham, Ananda hum, Kritaj Naham. blessed. We are grateful. We are bliss.
Love you guys.
Thank you so much. Happy New You. Happy New Year. Let's have a good week. We'll see you next week. Thank you for your love. Thank you for your presence. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.